Hello, everybody. It's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How you all doing? I hope you're doing good. Today, I do feel a little better, but I'm still very tired from the events that happened during the last few weeks, which is no big deal. I still haven't really had that bad of an attack in a week and a day, so 8 days. That's awesome. This video actually was inspired by some new members of groups who are scared to death of Meniere's disease, and rightfully so. I will not say they shouldn't be. I understand completely. I think most of us do. But this is, this is what this YouTube channel is about, is helping. So hopefully, new people, you'll learn something. People who've had it for a while, you might learn something too. So let's get on with it. So you've been diagnosed with Meniere's disease. You probably never heard of it before, okay? But I'm sure your doctor has explained everything about Meniere's disease that they know, okay? I'm typically not one that knocks doctors because being a doctor is hard. You got to retain a lot of knowledge and all this stuff. So I'm generally not one of these people that will knock doctors. Do I think they should know more than they do? Yeah. But you know what? It's tough being a doctor and you've got 1,000 patients and this and that and the other thing. There tends to need to be more research for Meniere's, which there isn't. But through a lot of different things, more money is being raised. Meniere's Research Inc., Veda, on the Vertigo. That guy's awesome. I don't care what anybody says. I think he's great. I love following him. Raising money. So research is coming along and it's getting there. But you've just been diagnosed. And I'm sure your doctor has told you low salt diet, no drinking, no caffeine, no smoking, all that fun stuff. So we're going to go through some of that stuff. One of the things you really should have talked to your doctor about was a rescue medication, whether that's Valium or a meclizine or maybe a combination of both. Valium tends to work for me, but other things work for other people because we tend to be all different, regardless of what we all have the same disease. We're all different. So salt. A lot of people it does affect. I'm one that it doesn't, but I don't use a lot of salt anyways because I have high blood pressure as well. But your body needs salt. So, and I know somebody's going to argue with me about it, but if you are sensitive to sodium, to salt, you might want to keep it to around 1,500 milligrams a day. Normal person's supposed to have 2,000 milligrams a day. And I know some people that drop it down to 1,000 or under that. You know what? Your body needs sodium. It just needs it, to keep going. So, and sodium retains fluid, and fluid can retain in our ears, and our inner ears are cochlear, and cause eruptions. So that's why they tell you to cut down the sodium. But not everybody, like I said, is a trigger. Sodium isn't a trigger. It doesn't bother people. It doesn't bother me. Hi, Kara. My dog Kara come over. She's like my mascot. Yeah, there she is. Hi. Okay. Get down. What? Okay, I'm making a video here, kid. Now the other one's over. So that was Kara. So sodium can be an issue for a lot of people. Typically for me, it's not, but I still keep it low because of my blood pressure. So I know some people are going to get mad. Well, you said 15 milligrams, 1,500 milligrams. Well, you know what? That's what I was told, and that's probably the ballpark. Caffeine is another thing that can cause, fluid to build up. Hyperactivity, coffee, sodas, especially sodas. Because even if you're drinking soda, the sodium in that, and then the caffeine on top of it, that's kind of a recipe for disaster. Personally, me, I rarely have soda. Okay, I have coffee. I have a cup of coffee in the morning, another one in the afternoon. If I go for the third cup, that triggers me for an attack. So somewhat I am sensitive to caffeine, but not as much as some other people. But soda definitely will trigger trigger that. And you know what? To go back to the sodium thing, there is a couple of things that do trigger me with sodium. One is hot dogs. I can't have hot dogs. It doesn't matter what it is, what brand, anything. I just can't have them. I get vertigo. And the other thing, believe it or not, is Domino's pizza. Okay? I can't have it. So Domino's sets me off. So I generally will make my own pizza, and I do make my own sauce. So being a Sicilian, that's what you do. So yeah, those things will trigger it. So caffeine is another thing that can retain fluid. Alcohol. I don't drink, so I don't worry about alcohol, but alcohol is another thing that can retain fluid and cause fluid to build up in our cochlears and burst. So, no one's telling you to quit drinking, but limit your drinking. That's all. Instead of having 4 beers, have 1 beer or 2 beers. Don't have the 4 beers or the 6 beers or whatever shots, whatever you drink. Just cut it back a little bit. Not a big deal. You don't have to stop. Just don't cut it back. Just cut it back. And the other thing they tell you is no smoking. Now, notice how I said smoking and not nicotine. Okay? Because I asked my doctor specifically this. Will nicotine cause a Meniere's flare? He said anything can cause a Meniere's flare, but the reason why we tell you not to smoke is because when you suck in the cigarette, it gets into your vestibular system through your sinuses, through your station tubes, and it irritates the cochlear, which can cause attacks. So, yeah, smoking, cigarettes, cigars, pipe, weed. I know some people do smoke it because marijuana does help them, pop helps them. But you can get that same effect with CBD tincture, which has the THC in it. And you don't have to smoke it. So, yeah, those are 4 roughly things that you kind of want to stay away from or limit, And then you're going to have to find your own triggers too. And what I tell a lot of people too is keep a journal of your attacks. Because, see, I figured out that spring is a very bad time for me, just from a journal that I've kept for the last 4 years. Because that's when I would generally get my attacks a lot of the time, would be in the spring. So that is something you want to keep as a journal. And the other thing is, you got to find your own triggers. There are things out there that will cause you to have Meniere's attacks and vertigo attacks. So you have to find your triggers, and it's a trial and error. Not everything that triggers me will trigger you, and not everything that triggers another person will trigger somebody else. The other thing that I can tell people too, new people, please do not listen to the horror stories. There are horror stories out there. Just because it happens to them doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. So don't, because one of the biggest triggers you're going to find, and I think most people will agree with me with this, is stress. And if you listen to those triggers, those stories, the horror stories, that's going to cause stress. It's going to cause you to worry, and then you're going to have an attack. Don't listen to the horror stories. They're out there. And I'm not saying those people that it isn't true. It is true. If it happened to them and they wrote it down, it's true. I take it as being true. But you got to understand the way you word things can cause people to, to trigger themselves. So kind of got to word things a little different and stuff like that. So new people, don't listen to the horror stories. It's awful. Other thing, new people, listen up. This one is very important, and it's the final one. Do not fall for the herbal cure people. They're scammers, okay? They're all from Nigeria, and they're all scammers. You won't get your product, and if you get your product and you don't know what's in it, it's going to hurt you. And most likely, they just want your money or your bank account, and then they're going to clean you dry. Do not, desperate people will fall for this. Don't do it. Stay away from the herbal care doctors. Dr. Okeechobee or Ukabuka or whatever they call themselves. I tend to word them as Dr. Dingleballs. Please stay away from those posts. If you see them in a specific group, report them to your admins. The one thing that all admins agree on, pretty much in every group, is that there's no place for fake cures. And a lot of people are going to tell you to fake cures. Okay? Don't. Don't listen to it. And don't be surprised if people around you don't understand it. They're not going to. Because I still today go through it. I went to a funeral 2 days ago and there were people there in my family that still don't get it. You know, because we look fine. They don't realize on the inside we're like this. So, you know, just be prepared for it. Try not to get upset about it. And it's hard not to. But, you know, it is what it is. That's why we have support groups. We can talk to each other. We can encourage each other. We can help each other. Okay, and that last part goes for the new people, the people who have had it for a while, veterans. Through your stories and through your guidance and everything else, we can help all these new people. We can, because we all have a story, and it all needs to be told. And then these new people coming in will probably have an easier time than we did. Okay, really, I'm serious. We all have a story, and we all have a right to tell it. Okay? So, telling your story in a post, one, spreads awareness. Two, might comfort somebody. It did for me in the beginning, especially Gina, who is a good friend of mine now, was making videos, and man, that comforted me in the beginning. Half the reason why I do this YouTube channel is her inspiration with those videos. So, try to help the people as much as you can and have patience with them, because remember, you were new once too. So on that note, have a great day, everybody. Take care, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a good one. Bye.